An amazing thing happened at the canyon. This is a rare look at what could happen if disaster did strike in such a rugged place.
That's why everybody's sitting over there. They go for and taking pictures, and then you fall, and then somebody gets hurt.
From paranormal activity, including UFO sightings, ancient mythical doorways, and giant skeleton remains, to the U.S. government closing down the park after a drone captured something terrifying, the Grand Canyon will remain one of the best sources of evidence of extraterrestrial life on planet Earth. Secrets beneath the canyon, unveiling the mysteries of ancient civilizations. For a long time, the Grand Canyon, located in Arizona, has been a topic causing disharmony among modern archaeologists and skeptic researchers who believe that there is more to the park than meets the eye. This was after the U.S. government began closing off sections of the park for weird reasons and even restricting the use of drones to survey specific areas of the Grand Canyon. While archaeologists believe that it was formed as a result of natural erosion, ancient civilization researchers like Graham Hancock and Billy Carson share a more realistic hypothesis that challenges modern science beliefs. Hancock is a respected author and researcher who proposes unconventional theories about extraterrestrial involvement in the development of ancient civilizations. According to Hancock, the Grand Canyon holds evidence of a lost civilization with advanced knowledge beyond what we can understand today, and argues for the possibility of extraterrestrial contact made by the natives of America.
Could there be a hidden city in the Grand Canyon? Believe it or not, there are tales of an ancient underground metropolis discovered in the early 1900s.
In his book, America Before the Key to Earth's Lost Civilization, Hancock confidently argues that the Grand Canyon was not formed by natural erosion only, as modern archaeologists claim. To him, the place may have been influenced by advanced ancient technologies or even extraterrestrial interventions. While Hancock's theories revolve around the idea that ancient advanced structures and unnatural geographical formations, like those in the Grand Canyon, could be what remained of a highly advanced civilization, he is not entirely wrong. The natives who lived in the Grand Canyon gave accounts of beings who came from another planet and gave them advanced knowledge that quickly moved them from the Stone Age way of life to organizing themselves in cities. But Hancock is not the only one. Billy Carson, another famous figure in the field of alternative history and extraterrestrial research, has also shared his unconventional views on the Grand Canyon. Carson, who is known for his work with forbidden knowledge and his exploration of ancient civilization theories, believes that the Grand Canyon is home to hidden evidence of ancient alien civilizations, and that's why the government restricts access. He confidently argues that there are structures and artifacts within the Grand Canyon that even modern science cannot fully explain. While skeptics can call them delusional, there have been numerous paranormal activities that have been going on in Arizona near the Grand Canyon.
We have an update about Arizona's largest national park. It is now closed to visitors. The National Park Service announced that the Grand Canyon will be closed until further notice.
Today is the first full day of the stay-at-home order for our state. And with that, some Arizona lawmakers are now pushing the federal government to close down the Grand Canyon.
UFO sightings. Arizona has long been known for its mysterious lights in the sky, and recently, the state has had some data to confirm it's a magnet for possible UFO events. An analysis recently done by the website Outforia found Arizona has the 6th most sightings of unknown flying objects in the country. The website pulled data from the National UFO Reporting Center and pinpointed some of the biggest hotspots for paranormal activity in the sky. According to Outforia's study, Arizona has had more than 4,600 UFO sightings. One of the most recent sightings involved a circle-shaped object hovering over Queen Creek for about 90 seconds on February 24th, according to the national database. Another recent sighting involved a Tucson resident claiming to have seen 6 bright orange lights moving across the sky on February 19th. Could they all be a hoax? The Grand Canyon State falls far behind California's 15,072 sightings, which was the most counted by Outforia's analysts. Other states that ranked high on the website's list were Florida, Washington, Texas, and New York. While it's possible to assume that people spread this information to get media attention, there is no way these events keep happening in different states, and all of them claim to see almost, if not the same phenomenon. The most common type of UFO sighting involves bright lights in the sky, followed by mysterious circle-shaped objects that look like fireballs. That was precisely what people witnessed in the famous Phoenix Lights event, where 2 formations of light were sighted in the skies over the valley and other parts of Arizona. One was shaped like a V and cruised across the sky, while the other was a series of glowing orbs that appeared in a line near the Sierra Estrella mountain range. This event lasted for about 3 hours. The two incidents became known as the Phoenix Lights, one of the largest and best-known UFO sightings in history. Thousands of people across Arizona witnessed the phenomena, which caused countless debates in the media over the next few months and grew into a worldwide obsession. These objects would then mysteriously vanish or move at speeds that defy the laws of physics without creating any sound. Despite the public demanding answers about what caused the Phoenix Lights, both at the time and over the ensuing decades, no official investigation has ever occurred. As if to dismiss claims of UFO activity, the U.S. Air Force said the lights were likely military flares dropped during a training exercise at the Barry Goldwater Air Force Range. Fife Symington, who was Arizona's governor at the time, revealed in 2007 that he witnessed one of the UFOs during the Phoenix Lights event. Hungry for answers and clarity of what he had seen, he went to the military. However, Symington said in an episode of UFO Hunters that the U.S. military would not give him information on the bizarre lights. Mysterious ancient doorway. What seemed to be a strange black hole was spotted in the Grand Canyon on Google Earth. This caused chaos in the media as they debated about its origin. The reason for its existence was thought to be of many reasons, the most striking of which is alien activity, found by a keen watcher named Wayne Wells on a picture from Google Earth. The mysterious doorway caught the attention of ancient civilization researchers. Speaking to Daily Star, Wells said, "Quite an amazing discovery. Ancient ruins I found in the Grand Canyon in Arizona. Fantastic. It'd be easy for somebody to send a drone over the edge to check these ancient ruins out. Some kind of tunnel?" Wayne and other experts believe the site, 250 miles from Las Vegas, is ancient Egyptian tech, while others believe it is Martian. Speaking in a podcast, Dina de Cortez said that not many people know about Cleopatra's son running away with a lot of gold from Egypt. She added that some experts think he ended up at the Grand Canyon. Adding to this, best-selling author Brad Olson, who appeared on the History Channel's Ancient Aliens, said, "It's near Point Imperial. I was blown away when I saw it." Could this be just another conspiracy theory? Many ancient civilization researchers have brought up the idea of extraterrestrial beings using Stargate portals to go in and out of other dimensions. Billy Carson has discussed the concept of Stargate portals countless times. In one of his interviews, Carson talked about the origins of modern man and the role of the Anunnaki, a group of aliens from a planet called Nibiru. The funny thing is, this planet is known to modern science and ancient Sumerian mythology. Carson discussed how these beings might have used stargates and portals for interdimensional travel. He continued to explain that ancient texts, symbols, and structures, such as the Emerald Tablets and the Great Pyramid drawings on the walls, contain references to these portals. Adding to his belief, he suggested that these stargates allowed the Anunnaki to move between different dimensions and influence human civilization. To back these claims, Carson shared his thoughts on the potential for interdimensional travel in the 21st century through portals, an experiment being done by the U.S. government. He discussed how the European Organization for Nuclear Research and its Large Hadron Collider experiments had the potential for creating or discovering such portals. In this interview, Carson connects these modern scientific endeavors with ancient knowledge, suggesting that ancient civilizations might have had access to similar technologies. Considering Wells' discovery, those who believe that the doorway has Egyptian connections have more reason to do so. This is because the Grand Canyon is said to have once been the home of an underground Egyptian civilization, according to the website How Stuff Works. When explorers went to the area in question in 1909, they found caves full of suspected Egyptian artifacts and even granaries full of seeds for cultivation. Statues and copper weapons, which provided a lot of information about the timeline and the abilities of the people at the time, were also found. The caves were said to have space for 50,000 people to live. However, this remained a conspiracy theory because the documentation or proof to support these claims disappeared. More so, these caves have never been found since. Was this a cover-up by the government in order to hide the truth from the people? The U.S. government closes down the Grand Canyon. Over the years, the Grand Canyon has experienced various instances of unexpected closures and restricted access. While the media claims that it is often due to natural disasters and government shutdowns, there have been other unexplainable events. Recently, the government announced an indefinite closure to tourists and locals. They claimed the Havasupai Falls area had been closed due to deadly flash flooding. For this, The Havasupai tribe implemented this closure to ensure the safety of visitors and residents after the floods caused significant damage. However, despite the good intentions of the government for its people, there is a controversial truth regarding the park itself. No single agency or authority manages the Grand Canyon. It is under several federal agencies, including the National Park Service, the Bureau of Land Management, the General Land Office, the U.S. Forest Service, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and the Secret Service. This raises suspicion that there is more to the park than people are made to believe. For instance, there is a section called the Forbidden Area, which is officially designated as the No Drone Zone area. However, something interesting occurred in this area. It experienced an unauthorized intrusion by a drone that entered areas only accessible to park rangers, military personnel, and government officials. Specifically, this was the region where the Colorado River and the Little Colorado River converged, extending to the Anasazi Bridge. This area was significant to the Native American tribes that lived there for thousands of years. The primary residents were the Hopi and the Navajo, and they considered the area sacred. The government claimed that the restrictions imposed on the forbidden area of the canyon were put in place to protect the natural and cultural heritage of the park, ensure visitors' safety, and preserve the park for future generations. As noble as this seems, some researchers believe that this was just a cover-up for some secret agenda. One of the popular arguments is that the Forbidden Zone was where an ancient, possibly alien civilization once thrived within the canyon depths. They also showed that a secret underground city was found within the canyon in the early 1900s. Sound familiar? The researchers wondered why the government would close this part of the canyon, which has the potential to boost tourism due to these beautiful sights. To the natives, the Grand Canyon, far from being merely a beautiful landscape or tourist destination, is a place of spiritual importance. Although much of their stories about the park are regarded as myths, dismissing their truths for folklore and mere legends is naive. And here is why. Researchers made discoveries that somehow aligned with the myths of the native people. In 2016, Norwegian geologist Alan Krill came across a remarkable discovery while hiking the Bright Angel Trail in the park with a group of students. He spotted a fallen boulder lying just off the side of the trail with curious markings that resembled footprints. Krill, who was visiting the University of Nevada, Las Vegas from Norway, sent photos of his find to an old friend and colleague, Stephen Rowland, a UNLV paleontologist, for further analysis. After looking into it, Rowland estimated that the imprints could be up to about 313 million years old, making them the oldest vertebrate fossil tracks ever found in the park, according to a National Park Service statement. Additionally, these footprints could be some of the earliest known evidence of a hard-shelled egg-laying animal known as an amniote, an ancient creature, according to Shana Montanari, a reporter for the Arizona Republic. But these footprints were merely one piece of the puzzle hidden within the Grand Canyon. While Professor Rowland's findings triggered debates in the scientific community, something fishy happened a few days after going public with these findings. The government shut down the area where Krill found the prints and denied access to any person not authorized by them. Why would they do that? It is possible that they knew that if the people went looking for answers, they would find them. And to stop this, they intervened. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain. The American government is determined to restrict access to the Grand Canyon for reasons best known to them. For example, in 2011, there was a high-profile incident involving a drone pilot who was fined and had his equipment seized for flying over the Grand Canyon. As if that was not enough, he was forced to surrender his drone memory card under the threat of a search warrant. The truth in the myths. While the Grand Canyon remains a wonder to all, the Native American tribes mystify the park even more. Considering that they have lived for thousands of years in the area, their myths and legends hold key information about the history of the place way before the biblical Noah's flood began. One of the tribes, the Hopi, has an interesting myth about the Grand Canyon. It says, "From the Grand Canyon, the first people of the world entered." This myth suggests that thousands of years ago, a reptilian race, aka the lizard people, emerged from the Grand Canyon and shapeshifted to look like humans. On top of this, the Hopi have an interesting legend about the ant people. These were humanoid creatures that were smaller than humans, with pale skin and large eyes like an insect. According to this legend, a series of cataclysmic events hit the earth thousands of years ago, the Younger Dryas. The Hopi were on the verge of being destroyed, but a sky god emerged from what they called a moving star. The god escorted the Hopi to the ant people, who escorted them to underground caves for protection. The sky god then got back to his moving star and flew off above the clouds. This vivid description of the ant people sounds exactly like what we know aliens to look like, based on movies and TV series. Did Hollywood get the image of what aliens looked like from the Hopi? As if that's not descriptive enough, the Paiute have a legend about the Have-Musuvs. These Have-Musuvs are usually described as humanoid creatures with golden skin and large eyes that lived in far underground cities and traded with people from far away. The crazy part is that these beings possessed weapons that the Paiute described as silver tubes that shot lightning and could kill a man instantly. The most interesting part of the Have-Musuv legend is that they flew silver canoes in the sky. These crafts made a humming sound and could maneuver like an eagle and move at incredible speeds. This is the exact description of UFOs as the one spotted in Arizona in the Phoenix Lights incident. How can these objects exist in myths and be known to people who had no access to books to read about them? But that is not the end of it. Other cultures, like the Azuni, have similar legends that there were people there who lived before their ancestors. Some legends claim that reptilians lived there, while others claim that a race of giants lived there and in surrounding areas. There have been rumors that giant skeletons have been discovered all over Western America. For example, in May 1912, 18 strange skeletons were found in Wisconsin. These 9-foot skeletons with huge heads and strange facial features shocked scientists when they were uncovered. To date, scientists are remaining stubbornly silent about a lost race of giants found in burial mounds near Lake Delavan, Wisconsin. Beloit College oversaw the dig site at Lake Delavan, and it included more than 200 sculpture mounds that proved to be classic examples of 8th century woodland culture. However, the enormous size of the skeletons and elongated skulls found did not fit very neatly into anyone's concept of a textbook standard. These skeletons exhibited several strange and freakish features. Their heights ranged between 7 and 9 feet, and their skulls, presumably those of men, are much larger than the heads of any race which inhabit America today. With time, giant skulls and skeletons of a race of Goliaths have been found on a very regular basis throughout the Midwestern states for more than 100 years. Giant skeletons have been found in Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, and New York, and their burial sites are similar to the well-known mounds of the mound builder people. Despite these discoveries, the government has suppressed the evidence. While myths only exist in spiritual accounts, and different tribes have different myths about where they came from, most of them have one thing in common: a flood myth. On top of that, most of these myths talk about how, after the floods receded, godlike people came from the sky and gave humans the gift of civilization and taught them things they knew before the Great Flood but had forgotten. Things like writing, astronomy, and agriculture. Could the underground city in the Grand Canyon be evidence of this time in history? And if it is, why would anybody want to suppress it? Whistleblower proves aliens exist. With all the efforts the U.S. government has put in place to keep evidence of extraterrestrial life buried, whistleblowers become an excellent source of this information. In 2023, a former intelligence official testified that the United States government had found and covered up evidence of extraterrestrial life for decades. The witness, David Grush, alleged at a House of Representatives hearing about UFOs that the Pentagon had recovered crashed vehicles and biological remains believed to be of non-human origin. At the hearing, Grush said, "I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena, crash retrieval, and reverse engineering program to which I was denied access. My testimony is based on information I have been given by individuals with a long-standing track record of legitimacy and service to this country, many of whom also shared compelling evidence in the form of photography, official documentation, and classified oral testimony." At the hearing, 2 other witnesses, both formerly in the Navy, testified they had personal experiences with UFOs while on the job, including a 2004 incident that was caught on video. While the UFOs remain fascinating, CBS's Stephen Beckett wrote that many end up having innocent explanations, such that they turn out to be weather balloons, drones, or small aircraft, while others remain cloaked in mystery. With the UFO phenomenon gaining significant attention, a Gallup poll from 2019 found that 68% of Americans believe that the U.S. government knows more about UFOs than it is sharing with the public. Meanwhile, 33% of polled U.S. adults believe that some of the UFO sightings have in fact been extraterrestrial spacecraft visiting Earth. Adding to this interest, Congress has held 2 hearings on UFOs in the last 4 years, after a nearly 60-year break from the subject. The last such proceedings were in 1966, when then-Congressman Gerald Ford convened a pair of hearings to discuss UFO sightings in southern Michigan and other parts of the country. Yet, no hearing has revealed definitive evidence of life beyond Earth. Grush said he hasn't personally witnessed any UFOs, and he refused to publicly give specifics on some of the details of his claims, citing security concerns. Still, he said he would be more forthcoming behind closed doors. As a former intelligence officer, I go to jail for revealing classified information, he said at the hearing. When asked whether anyone had been harmed or injured to cover up information about extraterrestrial technology, Grush answered yes. But when asked if anyone had been murdered, he said he had to be careful and had directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities. Grush also alleged that the military had misused funds allocated for other programs to try to reverse engineer some of the supposedly non-human technology. Despite the countless evidence of extraterrestrial life on planet Earth, the U.S. government trivializes the matter in case of sightings going viral. And if there are places with critical information, they find a way to restrict access. Is this a strategic way for them to remain in power by limiting access to weaponizable alien tech, taking it all for themselves, and reverse engineering it as they have done countless times?